Is this recording?
Yes.
Hello, welcome to TripleThink. My name's Lizzie Hodgson. I'm founder and director of ThinkNation. TripleThink, I usually go through things of what we've learned, what we're doing and what we've done over the past sort of week or coming up, talk about our projects, things like that. One of the things I want to talk about this week of what we've learned is communication is key. Now that sounds absolutely basic, doesn't it? But we're working at the moment with projects across the US, Europe and all across the UK. We work with remote teams, we work with people who are working on with other organisations, and what I found is, as great as Slack and all of those kinds of things are, Google Docs, Google everything, humans are social creatures. We respond best, I think, when we are, if not in the same room as each other, some kind of that's why Skypes work so well, or any kind of video conferencing works well. Getting that time in with people on a one-to-one or a group basis where you can have those discussions in real time. And I'm not talking about Slack, I'm not talking about messaging, I'm actually talking about this, connecting, the communication, the flow of the conversation. I didn't really realise how important that was until, again, doing ThinkNation, until really having to look at ways in which we can communicate. And it comes down to this: pick up the phone, dial up Skype, use whatever it is, whatever, Google, whatever. But this matters. Being in the same space as each other matters, because you can shut down any kind of confusion. Things get lost sometimes in emails and expectations aren't managed properly, and also it's just nice to speak to each other. So that's something I've learned, that's something I want to improve on, and I'd be really interested to hear ideas on how real human kind of communication can happen when we all know we've got to work fast, and when we all know that the Slack and all of these other things are taking over that process for us. I'm increasingly convinced that the human element is going to play an even more important part of our work, life, employment, whatever world as we progress. So that's what I want to be working on in the next few months. Okay, so what we've done, this is a slight spin-off. I've been talking about the ZX Spectrum. This is where Brandon, Ralph and I talk about technology, digital, things like that, and the impact of that on our worlds, but from the perspective, a lot of it is actually coming from the perspective of young people. So we're still seeing where the ZX Spectrum is going. But one of the things that we did last week was we spoke about young people work and patience. And it's really interesting listen, because what kind of came out is that young people, and we're talking about Generation Z, so Generation Z, the young people we were speaking to is Brandon is 18 and Rebecca, who's our videographer, is 21. She's here.
And they're the sort of jobs that are sort of lower skill and start at the bottom and then you work your way up. But now there's the sort of perception that you should go in and you should slot in the middle.
Those jobs I found, I did greengrocer jobs, coffee shop jobs, cleaning jobs when I was, in my teens. And they taught me the value of money and managing my own time and doing things alongside, education, turning up, doing things and I feel a lot of the people, even the people I've come across at university, have not done any of that.
They've grown up in this swipe left world, this instant. We're telling them to live in the moment. We're telling them that they've got to be fast and that life is fast paced. And they are good at that. They work and function in that world. But what was interesting in this conversation was they want to do things, but their concept of what makes up time to build experience was a little bit at odds with I think where my view is. 2 years to them in a job, by all accounts, sounds a very, very long time. Now, when you're 18 or 20, then I can understand that. I remember that clearly, 6 months was a long time. However, the idea of building up experience is actually, it does take time. You have to try things out. 2 years is not a long time, particularly when you're thinking about perhaps these young people. And, I expect to have a career that will span another 30, 40 years, health-wise, pending. these people are going to be looking at jobs for 70 years, 60, 70 years time, looking at how they're going to build that experience. Now, when you're talking about 2 years, that seems an incredibly short period of time when you look at it in that context. On the one hand, we're telling them to live in the moment, not worry, not think about things, and just do and get on with it and grow this experience. But on the other hand, their concept of what takes up that experience is so much shorter than the reality of what I think, companies, work, whatever it is, needs for that experience. Do we need to help young people understand the value of patience, perspective, and perseverance? I'd be interested to hear what other people think around that. And I think I'm just going to bring Rebecca in quickly. Yeah. Would you agree with what I'm saying? Do you think, or am I just sounding like, some old fuddy-duddy who doesn't understand the realities of the world?
No, I think you're completely right. Like, it's very true that I expect results very instantly, and as young people, I think we are maybe more impatient than older generations. Maybe it's us that need to adapt to the workplace, or the workplace needs to adapt to us. Well, that's the question.
But I think that possibly a hybrid of the two.
Yeah.
I think that there's going to be some really interesting things that play out in the next few years. We can't come down on young people with the full weight of it's all your fault when we again have created that world. So we're the ones that have put those mechanisms in place. We're the ones that are encouraging them to do things quickly. We're the ones that are pushing things through social and wanting that we want them to give us that instant kind of like response. So it's going to be interesting. As I say, patience, perspective, perseverance, those are the key things that I think that we'd be good to explore with young people in the workplace and other areas of life, really. What we're doing, I've spoken at length about the two projects we're working on at the moment around events. We've got Project Twist It coming up in December, but we've got one coming up in October, Saturday, October the 13th. This is a call for mentors. We want to find mentors from Brighton, Hove and beyond to participate in this event. What we're going to be doing is we're going to get young people from around Brighton and Hove to look at 4 big questions and come up with solutions for those questions in a workshop, exploring the themes and coming up with some stories maybe that they can help share in the evening in front of a live audience at Platform 9 in Brighton. ThinkNation aligns kind of like our work to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We do this so that we can help young people understand that challenges and issues that they face are rooted in the local, but also have a global perspective around. For us it's mainly around technology. And their ideas on the local, if we can ground those questions on the local, that could actually be a really powerful way of helping them understand where they fit in the wider world. So these are the questions that are going to be tackled on October the 13th. And we are looking for mentors from the arts, technology, academia, business, who can work with young people during the day on October the 13th to help them shape their talks, stories, narrative of ideas on what they can do to solve these challenges. So the challenges are, what tech would you create to help the homeless in Brighton? Question number 2, what are your ideas on how you can help improve mental health support for the young people in the city? Question number 3, how can artificial intelligence create a fairer housing solution in Brighton? And question number 4, what tech would you invent to eliminate beach pollution here in Brighton? Now these questions are obviously super local. They're very, very pertinent to young people here, but we want to look for solutions around that. So if you're a mentor, or if you've never mentored before, if you just want to kind of help us work with these young people to come up with those solutions, want to hear from you, you can get in touch by emailing info@thinknation.co. You can check us out on our website. We've got information on how you can reach out to us to sign up to become a mentor. And we just want to get some solutions going. These solutions will then be presented on October the 13th by young people for the Brighton and Hove. And then who knows what we can do with them then. That's TripleThink. You haven't seen Kipper yet. He's asleep. Kipper, do you want to come and say hello? Come on. Come say hello. You've got to be in it, because this is like the law now. Come on up. Oh, he's gone. Come on. Come on. Yeah, there you go. There you go, okay? Now we can stop. Okay? Now we can stop. Hope you enjoyed TripleThink. Share, subscribe, leave a comment. Love it or hate it, let me know what you thought. For more from ThinkNation, check out ThinkNation.co. You can follow ThinkNation at ThinkNat and myself, Lizzie Hodgson, at LHDGSN. You can find ThinkNation on Facebook and be ThinkNation on Medium. We also podcast TripleThink on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and more via Anchor.